Good morning and welcome to another day here on planet Earth. This is the Solo Gardener podcast and I am the Merry Gardener. Okay, so we're diving into this episode when your customers or clients' neighbours kick off. And I've had a few of these over the years, but this one takes the biscuit. This is, we like to call him Wheelchair Man. This was back in when I worked in Brighton. I had two guys working for me, and the old man. I always feel with a heavy heart I tell this story because this old man has passed away. He's my client. He's a great guy, and one thing we did every time we went round to do his garden, we always used to have a coffee and a chat facing the garden. This is quite common. Now, if you find someone that you get on with and you gel with, we always chat and we talk about things. And he used to tell me about the time he used to work for the BBC and all this sort of stuff. And lovely guy. He had a freaking nightmare neighbour. And this guy, so we're in Brighton's all the houses are really close together. It's a city, so bear in mind, if you imagine like London, or Brighton's like London by the sea. And if you're right in the thick of town, he was a little bit outskirts, but still the houses are relatively close together. He lived in a cul-de-sac, but it wasn't like a nice cul-de-sac with a roundabout where it was literally a road that just stops dead. And the car, it's a nightmare for parking. And there was one big double garage next to my client's. And had like no parking signs, all this sort of stuff. And a lot of the time we'll find a space, but on the odd occasion we had to park in front of that garage, and it was owned by our lovely crazy Wheelchair Man. And Wheelchair Man, he was known to the police as a nuisance because what he used to do, he used to be one of those guys, used to watch his window. I think he must have sat at his window with a camera, and he used to film people that parked even a slither over he had like yellow lines that goes up to his double garage. And the ironic thing about his double garage, yeah, he owned cars. He doesn't even drive anymore. He goes to town on his mobility scooter. He actually cannot drive. But he doesn't want anyone parking in front of his driveway. And I've always said, every time I've had a one-to-one with him, I've said, we'll move. We're only here for like an hour max because it was a regular client. It was just an in and out kind of job. And if you want to get in or out, we'll move. But right now, this is jammed. Unless I have to go park in another street and carry all my tools. Or sometimes in tricky situations, we would drop the tools off and then go park or get one of the lads to park somewhere else. That is something you can do. But this all blew up. We knew of this guy. He was known to everyone. He was a right pain in the arse. And basically, we ended up booking in a bigger job for this client to do some turfing. And there was only one way to get. We had to park in front of his garage to get the soil off, to get the turf off. There's no way I'm carrying all that stuff from down the end of the road. So I was like, we're going to have to deal with this guy when he comes out. Oh, shoot. I've just knocked my camera. We're going to have to deal with this guy. So we just parked in front. We're offloaded. He's coming out. He's screaming, he's shouting, he's complaining. And we're just like, look, I'm just hit. We're just going to offload here. If you need to get your van out, I'm a very polite guy. If you need to get your car out, clearly knowing he does not drive, but I'm trying to just kind of calm him down. Like, if you want us to move it, we'll do it. And then we ended up having to offload our tools and then park somewhere else just because it was so much hassle. It's like, I haven't got time to deal with this moron. But that was one thing. This does escalate. It just gets, it's not crazy, but yeah, it didn't go too well, but that was one scenario. We managed to deal with that okay and avoid it. But what he does, he calls the police. This is why he's a nuisance. He'll call the police like, someone's parking in my driveway. And the one that really peed me off is when we came to do the garden, and my client had a friend visiting, and she was an older lady, and we were doing the garden and stuff like that, just a normal visit, and we come out and we find this old man trying to let the old lady's tyre down. She wasn't even parked over his driveway, but she was like an inch onto his line. There's like a little yellow line that goes into like a double and then a single, I think, over his garage. And because she had parked just a slither, he'd gotten so outraged, and he's just like, and he's letting her tyres down. And this was no freaking way. So we ended up having to, not like manhandle, we had to literally wedge ourselves in. I think Sam did it at the end, the guy that used to work for me at the time, wedged himself in front of the tyre and sandwiched between the tyre and the actual crazy wheelchair man. And we managed to stop that tyre going down. But I thought that was freaking out of order. All he had to do was knock, and she could have pulled it forward or whatever. So I could have done it. Just insane. And this got so crazy that this guy's now, he's been calling the police. He's been right hassle for my customer. And they end up just ignoring him. No one talks to the guy. He's just loony. But what I used to be on a directory. This is a directory called Free Index. If you want to advertise your company for free, go on Free Index. I think they're still free, but what you do, you can put all your details on. You can get clients to review you, and you can climb up the ladder of gardeners. And I wasn't anywhere near the top. I was climbing because I was building up my my reviews, and this guy had found me online on Free Index, and he had complained about me and my company. And he was saying, this is long sentence, how I disrespect disabled people, and basically saying he's got no care, he just parks where he wants, or complain about parking. And I'm just like, he's giving me a bad review on this site. I'm like, what the heck? So I'm like, I'm trying to build a company. I was trying to build employees and stuff like that. I was trying to grow, and this guy's ruining my reputation. So I'm like, sorry, I'm fiddling with my cup. It might be picking up on the mic. I'm not sure. So how do I get out of this dilemma, mate? Because and the way I looked at it, I said to myself, this is a review site for customers, for paying customers. He is not a customer of mine. You can't complain about a service that you have not used. So I contacted Free Index. I sent them a complaint, and I said, this guy's not a customer. He's a disgruntled neighbour of my customer. He's complaining about me. He's a nuisance. This is unfair. He's not a customer. He shouldn't be allowed to complain about a service that he has never, ever used. Do you know what I mean? This is a review site. This is not like let's have a dig at random customers just because random companies because we just like have a private grievance with. I just thought maybe that was a good angle to go in, because it's a review. If you've used my service and I've done a bad job, that's what it's for. To say this guy's done about this, but he was talking about something completely different. He wasn't talking about gardening. He's ruined my gardening reputation over something that's completely unrelated. And you know what? They freaking removed it. They removed it. And I'm so grateful for them. And guess what? Excuse my language. He went on a different name and he did it again. So I'm like, how am I going to deal with this guy? So absolutely enraged me, because I was just, I didn't necessarily need this too much. I was getting word of mouth. It was just bugged me because I was trying to climb up the ladder, and now I've got this massive bad review, and people are liking it and saying, when you see a bad review and you click, yes, this is useful. I think there's a button that says, oh, thanks for that info. This was very useful. There was 2 or 3 people clicking on it. I'm like, they've now decided not to call me because of this guy. So I've already removed him once, and I thought, you know what? If I just keep removing it, he's going to keep going back on. So I thought, you know what? He can have that. He can have that freaking review. I'm going to now approach all of my customers. I'm going to go full shebang and tell my customers. I literally told them straight. I said, there's this guy. I said, I need some reviews because I need him to be dropped down to like page number 5. So he's insignificant. No one goes through 5 pages of reviews, right? And you know what happened? All my clients, they all started reviewing. They freaking bombarded this site with reviews. And then I had, instead of having like 3 or 5 reviews, I ended up with like 20 or 20. I can't remember the number, but it was enough, blow my mind, shot me to the top of the free index list. Boom! So the thing is, it's a good lesson learned, mate, to be honest. People don't leave reviews. If you are trying to climb up the ladder of reviews, you have to ask your clients. And a lot of the time they'll forget and you have to chase them and say, look, would you mind leaving a review? Or give them a discount or something, give them an incentive to write a review if you're really going down that road. So, mate, I don't know where I'm now because that was a long, long time ago and I don't really log into that site anymore. But my clients passed away. He would have definitely passed away because he was older. Yeah, that's one strange fact. There's one other thing I wanted to mention is that it's quite sad because being in this game for like 30 odd years, you lose clients to death. They pass away. And that's sad because some of them you build a friendship to with, like that guy, his name is Jim. And I really liked him. And I moved away from Brighton and set up here in Sevenoaks. And I passed that customer on to my dad. And my dad did him right up to before he passed away. And it's just sad. And I've got a few like that where you just remember them and you think, there was one where like you've probably had it yourselves, guys, with passing away. There's one where there was an old man that I used to come and chat to him. And I never really chatted to the wife, but he passed away. And then I carried on gardening. And then I used to chat to her, but she didn't speak a lot of English. She had really like broken English, but she used to love like sitting and struggling through a conversation with a cup of tea and a biscuit. And I remember, I'm trying to remember, Dorothy, that was it. Dorothy is all, you've got to have a client called Dorothy. The old ladies. It's like a classic old lady name, isn't it, Dorothy? She, bless her, she still owes me £80. And you know where she is? She's up there somewhere, people. Dorothy, bless her, she went into hospital and I was on the phone to her a couple of times. She wasn't well. And she wanted to keep her garden nice because she was expecting to come out. I did it 2 times before she passed away. And she never made it out, bless her. So she's up there looking down. And I want to say to her, like, hey, you still owe me 80 quid. Get your son to give me 80 quid. I could never get hold of his son. I think he lived in London at the time. Not that I would have. It's a bit awkward. It's awkward. Yeah, your mum's died, but would you mind paying me 80 quid? It's like, yeah, it's really insignificant, mate. 80 quid. My mum's just died. So I never really contacted him, but I knew she had a son, lived in London or something like that. She's looking down on me now going, you messed up my lilies. You'll get to hear about the Lily story if you want to search through my YouTube. You'll find the Lily story. It won't be titled the Lily story though, so you won't know which episode. But I'll tell you about the lilies one day. I made her cry. I am not at blame for this though. I'm not a lily murderer, but they were massacred, and I did it. But she instructed me to do it. Anyway, we will talk about that another day. Guys, I've gone on for far too long. I've got to get to work. It's Saturday. I hope you guys are getting at it today. If not, you're having a nice day off with the kids and the family. Have a great day. I'm going to see you on Monday. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I just wanted to share a funny story. So this podcast is going to be funny stories. It's also going to be useful information and interviews. I'm trying to line up some interviews with Pete, the tattoo gardener. And that's going to be my first one, hopefully. and we'll go from there. I've got to write a list of all the people I want to contact too. But yeah, if there's anything, any suggestions, any stories that you have over the years that are freaking crazy, because I've got a few over the 30 years, I'd love to hear about them. I want you to comment below. I want you to contact me, because if you want to come on the show and tell me your story, I really want to hear it, because there are thousands of gardeners out there and there are some freaking awesome stories, you know? Anyway, guys, have a good day. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you on next Monday. Take care. Bye.